Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to Technical Session 8A. Myself, Ashutosh Goel, and this session will be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic LLP, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the fourth World Conference on Information Systems for Business Management, ISBM 2025, Bangkok, Thailand. The fourth edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid way. The physical event was held on 24th September 2025 in Bangkok, Thailand, and the virtual event was held yesterday through Zoom and will be taking place today, that is 25th and 26th September 2025. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. In this session, we have 10 presentations, and each presenter will be given 10 minutes for the presentations and 2 minutes for question and answers. On 9 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants that you all stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or update, then you can write it to me in the chat box. Just before we start the session, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for this session, Dr. Ayos Gablaya. Dr. Ayos Gablaya is an associate professor at Kunua Collegia Higher Education Institution, Lithuania, and a specialist in marketing, communications, and management with over 12 years of experience in higher education. His academic and research interests include marketing, communications, management, design thinking, and artificial intelligence. Thank you for joining us today, sir. I request you to kindly say a few words of encouragement to the participants.
Thank you so much for the amazing welcome. It is absolutely honor to be this afternoon with everyone. I'm really excited to be here and to share the knowledge from all the participants, and I'm definitely looking forward to engage in a amazing discourse within the next 2 hours. So again, good luck to everyone, and we are looking forward to hear your works.
Thank you, sir. Now, without further ado, let's start with the first presenter for the session. Next, I would like to call upon Sir Vipul to present his paper on the title Emerging Research Themes in AI-Based Supply Chains, Transportation and Logistics, a Bibliometric Analysis. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible. You may start presenting your screen.
Yeah, is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, very good afternoon from India, and I am Vipul. Firstly, I'd like to thank the entire ISBM team as well as the host and all the dignitaries present over there. Greetings for the day to each one of you based on your timing. In India, it is afternoon. So yeah, good afternoon. So I'll be presenting our research paper, which was based on the emerging research themes in AI-based supply chain, transportation, logistics, and this is a bibliometric analysis which we have done. So with me today, I have is Saurish Joshi who will help me in covering these presentations, and we also have Sujata Joshi ma'am and Dr. Manhakem Dom who are our guide for this particular research project. Somehow they couldn't make to this meeting, but yeah, it's always because of their constant support which we had been to this platform. So I extend my gratitude to all the dignitaries, the ISBM team, and my guide. So, beginning with my presentation, I'll take you through the brief overview what our paper is all about. So, we have gone ahead with this topic because AI is the buzzword in today's world, right? Each one of us know, like. Somehow or other AI is creating that impact. So we had particularly chosen for supply chain industry how the fast paced commerce platform how they are being impacted by the supply chains because yeah backbone to them is basically the logistics and transportation. So we somehow wanted to understand what are the happenings going in this particular sector, basically considering AI as the supporting technology for this. So, based on our understanding, we found that there were four major impacts or critical benefits which AI has created. Firstly, was efficiency. Like the AI systems were able to improve the workflows. It was able to automate the repetitive tasks. For example, considering about the inventory management system, they could be automated using AIs and how it can boost the efficiency of the inventory managers. Speaking about demand forecasting, earlier it was done using some sort of maybe algorithms which were rule based, but with the AI coming into picture, all the machine learning algorithms and the historical data which we have, we could use all this, and then on top of that, if we apply AI, it will have a great impact in this particular industry. So talking about cost reduction in terms of, yeah, absolutely. This technology in itself has a lot of costs when it comes to implementation, but cost reduction in terms of workforce. If you have a little workforce with the required skill set, you can create a greater impact. The fourth was the sustainability part, since the resources will be used optimally, it would create a great impact on this particular supply chain and transportation sector. So the basic research objective is to study like what are the current authors or what are the research scholar they are actually doing in this particular domain, and then we have mapped like what are the different buzzwords that are being associated with AI in supply chain, transportation, and logistics. So that is the main objective of our research. Apart from this, we have also mentioned what is the future scope for this particular research paper. The methodology which we have used is basically we have used three software that firstly it was Wasweaver, Biblioshine, and then also uh, SciScope also we have used in this particular paper presentation, which will be further covered by Suresh in detail. So moving ahead, I'll be taking you what are our primary research questions for this. So the we have covered five different domains. Firstly, we have tried to understand who are the different scientists who are actually working on this particular topic, and whose research work or whose paper presentations are being used or cited in multiple other research papers for the study. Second is which are the nations which are at the forefront who are actually doing the AI research, and the countries which are coming ahead in this particular domain. The third research question for us is what are some of the influential authors who are contributing to this study. Fourth is we have created a tree map out of this, like what are the most associated keywords with this AI-driven supply chain management studies. And last but not least is our research theme about AI, like what are the key focus areas where development is actually happening and how it is impacting. So these are the five research questions which we'll be covering ahead. This is about our literature review, about what the body of our entire paper stands for. So it basically covers four parts, like what are the application parts. When earlier I told you how this technology is actually implementing this supply chain industry, but here are the four major applications. They are used in warehouse automation, route optimization, self-driving vehicles and drones, and risk tracking and explainable AI as well. Talking about warehouse automation is the same which I told you earlier, how the inventory management system can be handled by using the AI system so that you do not overstock or understock based on the events you have. Let's say we are having big billion days coming up here in India, so we have the demand spike. So how will you take care of that? Second is route optimization. Basically, it is to understand like we have various risk associated with our transportation. There might be some landslide, there might be rains, there might be some route patchwork being done on. So how AI can be implemented in this, and how we can optimally decide which route to be used in order to provide faster deliveries to the customer. Third is self-driving vehicles and drones. These are basically used inside the warehouses. Basically, if you might have gone through the study of Amazon, how it is using the self-driving bots, which are actually doing the movement for the inventories and all. So this is what we have in self-driving vehicles and drones. And the last is risk tracking and explainable AI. Absolutely, when we talk about AI, it has lot of concern. Let's say it's responsible usage, ethical biasness, whether the decision being taken are right or wrong. So how explainable AI can be integrated into the modern system so that we know if the AI is taking particular action, why it is taking, and if it is doing something wrong, we can train our algorithm, we can work on those loopholes in our system. The challenges and future directions are basically, yes, the data privacy and ethics is the same, like how responsibly the model is being trained. And the second is lack of standardized data. Absolutely, when we talk about commerce, there are different domains, there are different regions, they all operate in different let's say data security models. They have their own policies, and also the data, how it is organized in the databases, what data is stored, how it is being used is actually not the consistent one. So not the consistent one. So what you will be using to train your data, sorry, train your AI algorithm is also something which we need to work on. And then it is under representation. Not each and every country has that particular sort of maturity, we can say, that they can implement all this AI infra and AI technology. So it will gradually need some sort of hand holding or time to make sure that they reach to certain maturity level, and that is when they can implement AI in their supply chain system. So this is about overall view what we have written in literature review. From here onward, what the methodology was, what all tools were used, and what was the process flow for our research paper will be covered by Sorish. Over to you, Sorish.
Thanks, Vipul. That was a wonderful explanation. Hello, everyone, and greetings of the day. I'm Saurish Joshi. I'm one of the authors. So I'll take you through the data source, the analytical tools, and the process which we've used in getting this paper. So our data source was Scopus, which is a comprehensive database covering over 5,000 publishers. So an initial search using keywords like artificial intelligence, supply chain, all of these common terms like logistics and operations. So this yielded around nearly 61,000 articles, so which we refined down to nearly 730 peer-reviewed papers, right from 2015 to 2025, which these basically focuses on business management, and English language and open access works. So we employed a few analytical tools like was viewer for visualizing networks of co-citations, co-authorships and the
This is a,
keywords.
sorry to interrupt, sir. This is a gentle reminder that you've hit the 9-minute mark. You have only 1 minute
All
left to conclude the
All
presentation.
right, sure, sure. So the process which was used, it followed a systematic and objective approach. So a keyword search was conducted using keywords like AI, supply chain logistics, and the collected data was then analyzed to identify these key trends and document citations. And can you go to the next slide, Vipul? Yeah, so this is the results of the research questions. So the RQ1 has the result is remarkable growth in scientific production. So as you can see in this chart, in 2015 there were just 7 articles in this domain, but the number of articles in 2025 skyrocketed to 232. So which this basically aligns with the advancements in AI tech, and the increasing funding, especially after the COVID-19 disruptions. So moving on to research question 2 and 3. So we're looking at the top authors and the top nations that are conducting these research. So this list top with UK having around 9,228 citations, followed by the US and China, which are leading in this domain. The authors which have published most number of articles are Dwivedi YK and Warner KSR, followed by the others. So we're seeing a growing increase in trend in all of these research methodologies. So moving on to the fourth research question, we have the growth of research, where your dominating terms like artificial intelligence have the highest number of occurrences. Decision making has the next most 90, followed by the decision support systems with 85. So these are different domains or different areas where we can see the growth of research has been taking place. So moving on to the map, which it points out to the categorized
Sir, you have
development.
crossed the 10-minute time limit. Kindly conclude the presentation.
All right. Sure. So concluding the presentation. So we have analyzed a growing momentum in terms of the research in artificial intelligence and supply chain. So we have concluded that the United Kingdom and the United States and China are the leading nations which are driving this research, and which also India is emerging as a key contributor. So the future directions, which identifies several critical areas for critical research, future research, are the explainable AI. So with integrating models like Lime and SHAP, to ensure transparency and trust. So we have sustainable and ethical AI, which focuses on the long-term and economic and social impacts of AI. Further, we have risk management as well, which can leverage AI to enhance supply chain resilience through predictive analytics and for real-time risk management. And that's it from our side. Thank you so much for the patient hearing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation, sir. Do we have any questions?
I will ask the question. What was some of the most emerging cross-disciplinary challenges you find out in the research?
Yeah, so cross-disciplinary, basically the one major challenge which we found was, sir, it was basically about the explainability of the AI and the data set that you are using. Because when we talk about the different countries, each of the countries have their own way of operation, right? Each of them might be using different techniques to store the data. Some might store the data in Excel sheet, let's say for the small businesses. For huge businesses, they might be using databases like Oracle, SAP, HANA, and all that, right? So they have it as a well organized way. But when it comes to analyzing this and implementing it and training it to the AI, it becomes very complex. And when you say you want to train an AI model, again, the economic cost is something which is high. The second thing here being is the data privacy policy. We know the data or the open AI systems which are being having held in some particular country. But if your business is in some other country, then if you want to share the data, you have data policies. So we say that AI is very helpful and all, but again, what comes as a major challenge is your data policy, your cost of training the AI model. So this was something which we found as the key
Excellent.
challenge.
Thank you very much for the answer.
Thank you so much. Thank
Uh,
you so much all. Have a great
Thank you for your presentation, sir. Now moving on to our next presenter, I would like to call upon Ma'am Anshika Srivastav to present her paper on the title Internal Conflicts, Examining the Influence of Arms and Armed Forces. Do we have you here with us, ma'am?
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me share my screen first. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Um, Good morning, respected chairs, esteemed colleagues, and fellow scholars. I am Anshika Srivastava, presenting this work in collaboration with my co-author, Dr. Rosalind Patri. Our study is titled Internal Conflicts, Examining the Influence of Arms and Armed Force. The central idea of our research is to examine whether militarization truly protects states from internal conflicts or whether it paradoxically creates greater instability within nations. This is a question that holds both theoretical and real world urgency, particularly in today's volatile global context. Moving to the next slide. This paper addresses an important
Sorry
gap
to
while
interrupt, ma'am.
I hope now it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Yeah. So, sorry for disturbance. So, I was talking about that abstract part. So, this paper addresses an important gap. While many colleagues, we provide robust empirical evidence across 45 countries over 28 years from 1990 to 2018. So, we employ advanced econometric models, specifically random effect panel logistic regression and year-wise logistic regression to capture both overall patterns and temporal variations. So the key findings are striking. Arms exports reduce the odds of conflict by 25% for every billion USD, and this suggests that exporting nations may become more stable internally, possibly because exports strengthen their economies or shift weapons outside their borders. And in contrast, arms imports increase the odds of conflict by 3 times per billion USD. So, pointing to the destabilizing effects of dependence and on external arms. And next is armed force sizes. That increases odds nearly 4 times per million soldiers added, suggesting that large militaries may intimidate populations, heighten tensions, or even trigger resistance. So, military expenditure is the most alarming. A 1% increase raises conflict odds by over 9 times, highlighting the risk of aggressive militarization. Taken together, our evidence shows that arms and armed forces, rather than ensuring peace, may actually endanger humanitarian rights and internal stability. Moving to the next slide, that is introduction. Wars have historically recorded societies and economies fulfilling political and economic ambitions. Syria, Gaza, and Afghanistan are tragic examples. So, the consequences of these conflicts extend beyond immediate battle deaths. Widespread human rights violations, displacement, famine, and long lasting psychological trauma are common. So, with women and children bearing disproportionate burdens. So, to ground our study, we turn to foundational theories. That is, Galton's conflict theory defines conflict as arising from incompatible goals, and Marx emphasized structural inequalities. Simmel focused on emotional involvement, and Koser on the solidarity produced by conflicts, and Dahrendorf on how conflicts generate group awareness. So, building on Wallenstein and Sollenberg's definition of armed conflict as involving at least 25 battle deaths with the government participation, we interrogate whether military presence deters or aggravates internal conflict. So the broader theoretical perspectives are also divided: just war theory and moral hazard theory. So we also note that 90% of war victims are civilians, and the most conflicts today are internal, driven largely by small arms and light weapons. So our research question is very clear: what role do armed forces and government troops play in internal conflicts? Do they reduce violence or proliferate it? So this study contributes by questioning long held assumptions about militarism's protective role and offering evidence that may inform defense and peace policies worldwide. Coming to the literature review, factor inducing internal conflicts. So, see, several factors from the literature eliminate why conflicts arise. So, armed transfers escalate war probability, religious grievances, and leadership mobilization fuel divisions. Natural resources, wealth such as gold, oil, or diamonds, often invites criminal networks and prolongs conflict. Poverty and employment and low education levels are strong predictors of instability. Corruption and governance failures aggravate identity based conflicts. Resource scarcity, such as water shortages, and lead to violent disputes. Starvation has even been weaponized in conflicts. And finally, the psychological impact on women and children is immense and long lasting. So, this review shows that while conflicts are multi-causal, arms and militarization remain consistent and dangerous accelerators. Moving to the next slide, literature review: role of armed forces. Is and Sorry. Uh, mm, Militias may operate autonomously, not always aligned with state interest. There is a guardianship dilemma. Strong forces may defend a state, but they can also become a threat to it. Militants often behave as violence machines, engaging in gratuitous killing and sexual violence. Their presence lends to lengthen wars and alter negotiations, increasing civilian suffering. So, some examples make this point very clear. Syrian armed forces directly propagated violences. Militias in Guatemala and Indonesia actively undermined the state authority, and state created death squads have historically executed violence on behalf of governments. So, thus, armed forces may paradoxically destabilize the very societies they are supposed to protect. Literature review role of arms and weapons. Turning to arms themselves, small arms and light weapons are the most prevalent tools of internal conflict. Their widespread availability encourages violent rather than peaceful dispute resolution. In Africa, arms proliferation has fueled large-scale violence. Globally, proliferation has increased the probability of wars between civilizations. And in Cambodia, small arms contributed not only to conflict but also to rising crime and terrorism. Furthermore, military expenditure rose rapidly in the early 2000s, with much of this spending directed towards arms. So, however, a key empirical gap remained that there was no comprehensive quantitative evidence linking arms and internal conflict probability. So, probability across countries. This is the gap we address for this paper. Moving to the next slide, that is hypothesis. From this review, we distill two testable hypotheses. Hypothesis one is likelihood of internal armed conflict increases with the size of a country's armed forces. And second is the likelihood of internal armed conflict increases with the presence and inflow of arms. So both hypotheses directly challenge the conventional assumption that greater militarization equals greater security. Coming to the methodology part. So, to test these hypotheses, we analyzed a data set of 45 countries across Asia, Europe, and Africa over 28 years. Time period is around 1990 to 2018. And dependent variable for this was binary, whether an internal armed conflict occurred in a given year based on UCDP PRIO data, and independent variables of interest were arms exports, arms imports, size of armed force, and military expenditure. Control variables included GDP per capita and natural resources dependency. Um, Methodology correlation table. We carefully checked for multicollinearity, excluding oil for capita and population as they correlated over 70% with other variables. And the models used were a logistic regression, but both year-wise to capture temporal patterns and random effect panel logistic regression
Sorry to
for
interrupt.
overall.
This is a gentle reminder that if hit the 9-minute mark, you have only 1 minute left to conclude the presentation.
Okay, okay. So this dual modeling approach ensures our findings are both statistically reliable and contextually nuanced. Coming to the result, year-wise estimates show military expenditure significantly increasing conflict odds in several key years, with odds sometimes rising, and arms imports were significant in years like 2008 and 2012. In the overall panel regression, arms exports reduce conflict odds by 25%. Per billion USD. Arms imports increases odds threefold. Armed forces size, military expenditure, natural resources increases odds 24 times per percentage. So I already discussed this result panel regression in my in that previous slide. So coming to the discussion part, these findings clearly show that militarization, whether through armed forces or inflows, is not a safeguard but a risk factor. These challenges are the deeply rooted notion that strength equals security. Instead, the evidence shows that militarism itself proliferates internal conflicts. Um, Policy implication. The implication for policymakers are significant. Defense strategies should be rebalanced away from arms accumulation and military expansion. Instead, countries should invest in productive and peaceful sectors like small and medium enterprises, education, healthcare, agriculture, infrastructure, and tourism. So, this reinforces the idea that security is best achieved through human development and not militarization. Coming to the conclusion part, To conclude, the armed forces expansion and military expenditure significantly increases the likelihood of internal armed conflicts. Arms exports interestingly reduce internal risk. So this creates a paradox. Militarism, traditionally viewed as protective, in fact threatens peace and human rights. So our study strongly supports the argument of McMahon, Slanger, and Newman, who emphasize human security over military focus. So the call to action is clear. Governments must prioritize peace building over combat if they wish to create lasting stability. Limitation and future research. While our findings are strong, the study has limitations. Data covered 45 countries across three continents, and we relied on quantitative analysis. Future research should incorporate qualitative insight into how societies experience militarization and conflict. Despite these limitations, the study provides rare and valuable empirical evidence on the link between militarism and internal conflicts. So that's all for this paper. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I will ask the question. So, you've been mentioning a lot in your research about you doing the regressions and all the data. So, based on the data that you have, what role does armed forces play in shaping the trajectory of the internal conflicts? Do they act as stabilizers, escalators, or they are just like political actors in their own right?
Yes, sir. So, sir, as I already told that, like our dependent variables, like its internal armed conflict and occurred in a given year based on UCDP PRIO data, and independent variables, that is interest for arms exports, arm imports, and size of armed forces and military expenditure.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Moving on to our next presenter, I would like to call upon Ma'am Kalyani to present her paper on the title Managing Professional and Personal Life, a study on work-life balance among working professionals. Do we have you here with us, ma'am?
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Kalyani Ede. Today, I will be presenting on the topic Managing Professional and Personal Life, a study on work-life balance among working professionals. This study explores how working professionals manage their professional responsibilities alongside personal commitments and what strategies can help maintain this balance. Why work-life balance matters. Work-life balance is not just a personal issue, but also a organizational priority. Research shows that employees with a healthy work-life balance report higher job satisfaction, reduce stress, and improve productivity. On the other hand, imbalance leads to burnout, absenteeism, and the decline of overall performance. Organizations that promote balance foster resilience, commitment, and long-term success. Modern challenges to achieving work life balance. In today's fast paced world, achieving balance has become more complex. Constant connectivity through technology blurs the line between office and home. Some industries like hospitality and telecom demand irregular or 24 by 7 availability. Additionally, gender disparities remain. Many women continue to juggle disproportionate caregiving duties along with their careers. Recognizing these challenges is the first step towards designing effectivity strategies. Defining our research focus. This study was guided by a few key questions. What are the main challenges that hinder professional from achieving work-life balance? How does work-life balance impact employee satisfaction, productivity, and health? Which organizational practices promote sustainable balance? And finally, how do experience differ across industries and demographics, particularly with flexible work arrangements? Research objectives. The objectives of this research define the dimensions of work-life balance in modern workplace. assess its impact on satisfaction, productivity, and well-being, identify best organizational practices for effective balance, evaluate the role of flexible work arrangements in improving outcomes. Literature review. Previous studies show a strong link between balance and performance. For instance, Abradium 2020 and Victoria 2019 found that employees with strong balance achieve higher performance, and HAR 2014 highlighted that balance boosts job satisfaction and reduces turnover intentions. And in 2020, Allen revealed how work-family conflict damages mental health and engagement. So maintaining work-life balance is critical for both individuals and organizations. Literature review highlights flexible work and supervisory support. Research also shows that flexible work arrangements greatly improve balance, emphasize that flexibility helps employees manage both professional and personal demands. Uh, Specific research since balance looks different in every field. That is crucial. Employees need guidance and understanding to thrive. Balancing core elements for sustainable work-life success. Work-life balance depends on three interconnected elements: workload and time management, ensuring tasks are realistic within working hours; personal responsibilities and relationships, valuing family, social, and personal life; organizational support and flexibility policies, resources, and flexibility that empower employees. When these three align, sustainable success becomes possible. Research methodology and data collection. Our methodology relied on secondary research. We defined clear research questions, selected credible sources such as journals, books, and reports, and extracted both qualitative and quantitative findings using thematic and content analysis. We identify patterns and synthesize insights into work-life balance, challenges, and solutions. Unlocking work-life balance success. From this study, several insights emerge. Effective balance boosts satisfaction and productivity. Excessive workloads and constant technology inclusions remain barriers. Flexible policies, supportive leadership, and wellness program play a major role in improvement. Gender disparities and industry-specific challenges need special attention. Ultimately, building a healthier and more resilient workforce requires a mix of policies, culture, and personal discipline. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Do you have any questions?
My question will be like straightforward, basically. Does your results or do your results will be the same in the industries, or will they be differentiated? Let's say if it's different in the healthcare, in education, in retail. So do you have any of those findings?
An organization should adapt flexible working hours and promote remote hybrid work or encourage wellness initiatives, provide mentorship and counseling, and create a culture when employees can openly discuss work-life balance challenges.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to our next presenter. I would like to call upon Sir Praveen Desai to present his paper on the title Optimizing Video Summarization Using Deep Reinforcement Learning with Diversity Representative Reward. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
This is Dr. Praveen Desai. Yes, I am going to present my partner. Namrata ma'am will present the presentation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, respected session chairs, reviewers, and all the participants. I am Namrata Patil, and I am delighted to present our research on optimizing video summarization using deep reinforcement learning with a diversity and representativeness award. This work is a collaboration between myself, Mrs. Pragati Patil ma'am, Mrs. Ashwini Patil ma'am, and Dr. Praveen Desai sir from Department of CSE AIML, Rajaram Bapu Institute of Technology, India. Abstract. The core idea of our work is to enhance the video summarization. As you know, today we deal with the massive multimedia data, around 2.5 quadrillion bytes of data created online every single day. Browsing such a large scale content requires effective summarization. Video summarization is about creating concise and representative summaries of large videos to enhance the browsing. We designed a deep summarization network, or DSL, that learns to select the most representative and diverse frames without depending on the labeled data sets. What makes our method unique is that it completely unsupervised. It does not require labeled data or user feedback. Instead, it uses a reward function that balances diversity and representativeness. Next, introduction. Let me outline the challenge. Platform like a YouTube and Netflix face exponential growth in the content. Manually browsing or labeling data for supervised model is not scalable. Traditional supervised method require a massive labeled data sets, which are expensive and not scalable. Our solution is unsupervised reinforcement learning, making summarization scalable and adaptive. Next. Problem definition. The motivation behind this research is to design the system that treats video summarization as a sequential decision-making problem. Our contributions are a developing deep summarization network, design a novel reward function, considering both the diversity and representativeness, next implementing the end-to-end reinforcement learning framework, and last, evaluating its effectiveness on a benchmark data sets like SUMMI and TVSUM. Next, we will move with the objectives. Objectives are structured in 5 parts. Formulate the video summarization, design the reward function, build a reinforcement learning framework, ensure unsupervised learning, and evaluate and compare with the existing methods. Next, proposed work. Formulation of video summarization, reward function design, reinforcement learning framework, unsupervised learning approach, and evaluation and comparison. Next, this is the tentative architecture about the deep summarization network via reinforcement learning. A DSN receives the video as a sequence of binary variables on which parts of video are the selected as summary. The feedback reward is computed used on the quality of the summary, like diversity and the representativeness. Methodology. Firstly, we will follow with the frame extraction, video frame extraction using OpenCV and metadata. Next, the frame extraction with the ResNet 50, a deep CNN model. Then train the DSN, deep summarization network is trained with the reinforcement learning using policy gradients. Then generate the summary. Based on a learned decisions, the model select the key frames as the summary. And after that, lastly, there is evaluation. Finally, we test the summaries on a benchmark data sets like SUMMI and TVSUM to check the effectiveness. Next, the reward function. A key innovation lies in the reward function is diversity rewards ensures that selected frames are non-redundant, and the representativeness reward ensure that selected frames cover the main content. By combining these two, model learns to create the summaries that are both concise and meaningful without relying on human level data. Next, the result, these are some results of SUMMI data set. F1 score is 54.07, accuracy is 49.78, recall is 60.21, precision is 49.06, and ROC AUC is 0.49. Same for the results on a TVSUM data sets. F1 score is a 65.35, accuracy is a 50.21, recall is a 93.93, MSC is a 0.25%, and ROC AUC is a 0.49%. Now there is a comparison. This slides compares our results with the existing methods. Our reinforcement learning approach achieved a competitive or higher F1 score, accuracy, and recall compared to the state of the art technique. The key advantage is that our method is unsupervised. It still matches or outperforms many supervised methods that relied on a large data sets. We have followed these references. Next. Thank you, sir. To conclude, our work demonstrates the video summarization can be effectively modeled as sequential decision-making process using reinforcement learning. The proposed deep summarization network, guided by the novel reward function, combining the diversity and representativeness, achieved strong results on the benchmark datasets like SUMME and TVSUM. The key strengths of our approaches are it is unsupervised, removing the need of costly level data. It is scalable, making it suitable for ever-growing value of online video. It has a wide application in entertainment, surveillance, news, sports, and education. Looking ahead, we plan to extend these works toward the real-time summarization and multimodal integration by combining video, audio, text for richer summaries. And we believe this research provides a promising direction to the intelligent video management in the era of big data. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your attention. I now welcome any questions.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Are there any questions?
Do I have time to ask a question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. My question will be based on the research. What impact does incorporating diversity-based reward signals have on quality, on efficiency, and user satisfaction compared to the conventional methods?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, in this research, sir, we are going to use reinforced type of machine learning. So here we are going to take the data from the environment. Just we are going to use rewards.
Agent.
And
As a reward, if you the slides are not redundant and matching to the information, contentive information, then we will add the more rewards. And how much rewards highly you got, then the model will be trained according to that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Next, I would like to call upon Sir Chandan Kumar Sangivar to present his paper on the title Recommendation of Research Papers Using KNN and Universal Sentence Encoder. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Hi, yeah, I'm right here. Can I get the
Yes, sir.
So I'm Chandan Kumar Sangevar, and I'll be presenting my topic recommendation of research paper using KNN and Universal Sentence Encoder. So these are the content which we will be going throughout my presentation. Firstly, let's move on to the introduction and motivation of the project of the research. So recently, in the recent days, the research field is exploring a lot, and it is becoming relatively hard to find relevant work based on our own personal work. Suppose we are working on topic A, so sometimes we get in the middle of many other topics which interfere our work. So and in the current existing systems, they follow a very old keyword based approach, citation based approach, which gives us a very limited accuracy. And to increase my semantic and personalized recommendations based on our previous searches, I have taken up this topic, and hopefully by this project, I hope to make an impact on the researchers and scholars um, for their research works. So my objective in this project was to use the universal sentence encoder to get the maximum semantic meaning of the abstract, the title, and the keywords of the papers which are present in the market currently, to improve its accuracy and personalization. And one of the main problems of to address one of the main problems of the recommendation system, that is the cold start problem and the data scarcity problem, and enhance the academic discovery across the different types of domains, no matter what type of domain you want to work on, based on engineering or medical or anything related to IT or mechanical, anything can be addressed over here. So let's move on to the methodology. Firstly, my data set was from the arXiv metadata. arXiv is basically a repository which contains all the publications, and out of all the data which we had, which the arXiv have, I have considered titles, the abstract, and the year the papers have been published. So first, with the pre-processing, obviously the data was in the form of JSON and converted to CSV and all the data pre-processing. Later, it moved on to the universal sentence encoder for semantic representation, which means to get the maximum context awareness of whatever is going on in the research paper based on the title and the abstract. Um, Next, the KNN was basically used as a search algorithm. We'll get onto it in detail later. And as an output, my output was my personal output was top 5 recommended papers. Like, for example, whenever you log into your home page, based on your previous, we get an option like, based on your previous search, here are your top 5 recommended papers, which can be changed accordingly by the user. So here is the proposed architecture for it. Like I said, I took the title, abstract of the paper, and density semantics. So basically, the universal sentence encoder converts all my text data to a semantic vector. In this case, 12 dimensional vector. And then with the context awareness of the algorithm, we get the semantic meaning of uh, all the texts which we have in the research paper. So KNN was basically a similarity search. Suppose the title contains 7 words. So what does each word mean? And if we are trying to search up a new word, does it come up as a synonym of it and or not? And the feedback looping mechanism was introduced to this, which means it records your previous searches, your recent searches, and in your future, we are recommended based on the same time. Suppose, let me give you an example for this. You might get a notification on your cell phone stating that at the present time, you are at this location, or you have used this app on your cell phone. Would you like to open this again? So similarly, if you are logging in at this model at 2 o'clock in the morning, um, it records your history of searches and your recommendations and your read, and shows up at the next 24 or 25 hours whenever you want it to open it. So how does my USC working? The first paragraph basically inclines how the USC works, like, and in my project personally, the title, abstract, and the year was taken into the meaning and its context, and we compared. Obviously not a single, obviously there will be a lot of research papers based on a single topic, so it compares to the others too, and then we get the semantic meaning of the same. And yeah, not just by the keywords, which is the traditional approach. And how are they, uh, like, when we combined USC and KNN both? So USC is basically converting the semantic vectors. KNN is going into our similarity search and output, which can be modified by the user, which was the similar research papers. So what makes my project novel is it is combining two different types of models, that is the USC, which is an NLP based algorithm, and KNN, which is a ML based algorithm. So this gave a better and a faster accuracy than the previous traditional keyword based methods. And maybe if it is put it into a large scale, we need not enter the keyword whenever we are trying to submit our research paper for presentation or to get published. And it supports multilingual it supports papers from different languages as well. I just didn't train it very properly to get the accuracy on other languages, but as far as English is concerned, it worked with a very great accuracy of every time, the accuracy being around the range of 95 to 96 percentage. And it is quite scalable. It does no matter how big I have trained the data set on. I have given 3 GB of data set to the model, and it never failed. Why is it efficient? It is faster, more meaning related, and keywords only use the traditional method, which is not very quick these days. And as a result, as you can see, the first paper in the on the right side, the sample, you can see the how I have searched previously about automobile and the game theoretic planning. These are my top 5 recommendations I have got for the same topic. Next, if I searched upon value of fleet value grid, I have got the next five recommendations based on the same. It handled my cold start because they are asking for my search in the very beginning, and when we are comparing the other topics as well with the naked eye, we can interfere and we can understand that they are all in this similar meaning or revolve around the same topic. So in the conclusion, um, yeah, USC gave us good accuracy, good semantic meaning related search topics. KNN for faster results being approached to us, and yeah, it can be used for anything, for literature reviews, for semantic studies, or at the end, it is saving us a lot of time and improving the relevance of our studies. Future scope, if it is increase, if I'm currently working on this right now, it is not presently currently done, and real-time feedback can be implemented in this. And thank you. That is all from me, and I would like to take up some questions.
Thank you for your presentation, sir. Are there any questions?
My question, obviously, I have some curiosity with the KNN. So, for example,
Yeah.
for someone who did not work with KNN before, how would you quickly explain to what it is
Okay.
and what kind of, let's say, the validity it has?
Yeah, sure. So I would like to take back the presentation to the image of the KNN. So KNN is basically using distances between the two valid points. So we can see clusters based on the distances formed. Like let us take green, brown, and red, for example. Here we can see that there are very various data points, and each data point calculates a distance between distance between the center and that valid point. So if it is understood from the distance that a similar cluster is being formed in one uh, center of the graph, that's when the KNN is coming into play. So
Okay. Makes sense. Now
yeah,
understanding. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, sir.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next presenter, I would like to call upon Ma'am Nikita Pandey to present her paper on the title Smart Water Temperature Modulation Bottle. Do we have you here with us, ma'am?
Yes, I am here. Just give me a second. I'll present.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Hope my presentation is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to one and all present over here. Myself, Nikita Pandey, and along with me, I have the Professor Naina ma'am, Professor Adambar Londe sir, Professor Priyanka Raikar ma'am, and my classmates, Sanjana Nikam, Netra Nadar, Indranil Nayak, Priya Nevki, and Neil Oswal, for our work on the topic Smart Water Temperature Modulation Bottle. So, um, imagine you're trekking in Himalayas and it's freezing cold, and you crave warm water, and picture a scorching day where you would give your everything for a chilled water on the go. What if a single bottle could do both instantly? That's our idea behind our smart water temperature modulation bottle. The traditional methods like kettles and refrigerators either tie you down to plug them in or fails to give you your desired temperature. We need something that is smarter, portable, and sustainable. That's why we created a bottle that just doesn't carry water, it carries control over its temperature. And we were able to do these things with the help of the Peltier module. And the key features that we have achieved is the dual heating and cooling functionality, energy efficient and compact design, and it is very portable for the travelers, outdoor enthusiasts, and the medical professionals. So, as I mentioned, the Peltier module, it works on the Peltier effect, which is also a thermoelectrical phenomenon. Um, it is basically, it comprises of two different types of semiconductors, P-type and M-type. They both are connected at the junctions, and once the DC current is flowed through these junctions, a temperature difference arises. One side of the module gets hot as the electron transfers the heat energy, while the other side gets cold as the heat is absorbed, which means the one side can heat up a surface and the other can cool it down simultaneously, reversing the effect, which is the coolest part of this Peltier module. Upon the simple reverse of the direction of the current, we can switch up the hot side and the cold side. The previous cold side will become hot and the hot side will become cold. As we can see in the diagram, along with that, the other key component that we had was digital thermostat. It is also the brain of our system. It has temperature sensor and relay to maintain the set temperature. Along with that, heat sink and fan. Heat sink and fan are very crucial in our project because upon the when we need the cooling of the Peltier module, it is very important for us to dissipate the excessive heat produced on the other side of the Peltier. Also, our project can also work on battery and DC power supply. And insulated casing is also required for minimizing heat transfer with the environment. For the methodology, uh, we were focused on creating a design that was both portable and energy efficient. For the assembly, we took a ready-made bottle, integrated our components, and the TC1-12706 Peltier module is the heart of our system. Sandwiched between an aluminum base plate and heatsink with a fan. This setup ensures that the efficient heat transfer to the water and effective heat dissipations away from the module. The W1209 thermostat acts as a control unit. Connected to the Peltier module, we program it to maintain the exact temperature set by the user, automatically switching on and off as needed. We also added a simple toggle switch to make it easy to switch between heating and cooling modes. Finally, we focused on the optimization. We improved the thermal insulation to prevent the heat loss. We adjusted the size of the heat sinks and the speed of the fans to improve the cooling and heating effectiveness. The result is a fully functional and optimized prototype. Uh, with the system design, we get to start the system with the battery, set our desired temperature. The thermostat will measure our current temperature, and upon that, the decisions are made up for the heating and cooling. And once we have reached a desired temperature, the whole system is set to a stop to save the energy, or else it will keep on working. And as we can see here, the battery is connected with the thermostat. We set the desired temperature. It takes the input from the temperature sensor, which is present inside the bottle. And based on that, the thermostat will give the um, inputs to the Peltier module, and those effects will be seen on the bottle. Along with that, the heatsink and fan is also connected to the Peltier module. So now let's move on to the most exciting part of what we found. Our prototype successfully demonstrated the ability to regulate water temperature or the liquid temperature present inside the bottle. The initial test proved that the temperature within the bottle could be successfully modified, validate, validating the feasibility of our concept. The 12 The W1209 digital thermostat was central to this success. It allows us to set and maintain the desired temperature with the high degree of accuracy, specifically within the range of -50 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. This level of precision is the key advantage over the traditional heating and cooling methods. However, a critical aspect of a finding related to the efficiency of the power consumption, we observed that the overall rate of heating and cooling is directly linked to the power supply. While the system is energy efficient compared to the compressor-based refrigerators, but there are still limitations to prolonged use on the single battery usage in the remote areas. The sustainable impacts which we were able to make by providing a portable multi-purpose solution, it reduces the need for multiple larger applications and minimizing our household energy footprint. Our design was also focused on eco-friendly materials and is built in with the off-shelf components, making it modular and bearable. This encourages our right to repeat mindset and extend the product's lifespan. The energy efficiency, uh, portability, and eco-friendly materials modularity are the sustainable impacts which we have made. And these are the references which we have used in making of this bottle. And any questions?
Well, I do have a question, I think. I really like the concept, what you presented. It's definitely the interesting solution for the problem, but I did not hear in the research anything cost related. What does it take, or how much resources is needed to build such a, let's say, the reusable bottle?
It is very cost effective. That was also a main motive behind making of this bottle. We were able to make it under 2000 rupees in the Indian currency, and in the market it was available for basically 1 lakh, or it was quite pricey. So we were able to make it in the cheap and affordable.
Okay, yeah, because you always, when you introduce products like that, you always have to think about the viability, what it is that cost compared to demand from the customer, and then is it even possible for you to build it? So this is why I'm asking on that. So maybe something to work on. But thank you again for your work and presentation.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Moving on to our next presenter, I would like to call upon Ma'am Ketki Paranjape to present her paper on the title Statistical Analysis of the Israeli-Palestinian Conflict, Patterns and Dynamics. Do we have you here with us, ma'am?
Yes, just a
All right.
moment, I'll share my screen. So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ketki Paranspe. I'm from Cummins College of Engineering for Women, Pune, from India. And today I will be presenting my team's research on statistical analysis of key factors in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This study examines demographic and event-related variables to uncover significant patterns in the conflict. I will begin with a brief background and literature review, then introduce the dataset and methodology. After that, I will walk you through the hypothesis testing results, followed by overall findings, conclusion, and the references. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is one of the most prolonged and complex conflicts in the world, with significant humanitarian implications. Decades of hostilities have resulted in thousands of casualties, displacement of populations, and recurring cycles of violence. While much of the research on this conflict has focused on political negotiations, international relations, or historical narratives, fewer studies have examined it systematically through quantitative and statistical analysis. Beyond politics and history, a data-driven approach provides an objective lens to understand the patterns of violence, affected populations, and regional discrepancies. This research applies quantitative methods to explore these underlying dynamics. Scholars from multiple disciplines have examined the Israeli-Palestinian conflict using quantitative tools, each focusing on different aspects of its complexity. For example, House Offers Group applied statistical time series model to explore how fatalities and rocket attacks influence each other, showing how violence can escalate in cycles. Other work by Yeager and Passerman similarly highlighted causal links between fatalities on both sides, questioning the idea of strictly tit for tat responses. Studies have also moved beyond direct violence to broader impacts. Di Maio and Nandi investigated how conflict disrupts education and child labor patterns, while Sloan and co authors conducted meta analysis showing how exposure to violence affects children's psychological well being. In addition, research has explored indirect dimensions such as Kaplan's study on counterterrorism measures and unintended consequences. Together, these works show how statistical methods can uncover hidden dynamics in a conflict. However, most studies focus on specific variables in isolation. Our work aims to bring multiple demographic operational factors into a single framework, creating a more integrated statistical picture of the conflict. The dataset used is titled Fatalities in the Israeli Palestinian Conflict, compiled by the human rights organization B'Tselem. It includes over 11,000 records with details such as age, citizenship, event location, type of ammunition, participation in hostilities, and more. The data is drawn from field reports, media, and other organizations, offering a comprehensive view of fatalities and other related factors. So the study employs hypothesis testing using statistical tools such as Z-tests, chi-square tests, and F-tests to analyze the dataset. First, the Z-score was used for standardization. In our context, it allowed us to check whether distribution deviated significantly from their expected averages. Next, we use the chi-square test to examine the relationship between categorical variables. It is particularly powerful here as much of our data consists of such values. Finally, F-test was applied in the context of variance analysis. In our case, it was used to evaluate whether different groups showed statistically significant differences in their distributions. Four key hypotheses were tested. The first one being association with event location and hostilities. The second between age group and hostilities. Third between citizenship and fatality patterns. And finally between age group and type of ammunition used. The null hypotheses assume independence of these factors which were tested and evaluated. So the first hypothesis test focuses on event location and hostilities. The null hypothesis assumed the two factors to be independent. By applying Z-test, the null hypothesis was rejected. The result showed a significant association. Gaza recorded higher levels of hostilities as compared to those in West Bank and Israel. This highlights regional discrepancies and identifies Gaza as a hotspot for hostile activities and conflicts. So for the second test, the null hypothesis assumed no relationship between the age group and hostilities. Using Z-test, the hypothesis was rejected. The analysis revealed that the 21 to 30 age group was the most involved in hostilities. This underscores how young adults are disproportionately affected, which has implications for understanding recruitment patterns and the broader societal impact. The third hypothesis test focuses on citizenship and fatality patterns. The findings from chi-square test showed that Palestinian civilians were more often attacked by the Israeli security forces, while the Israeli civilians were largely targeted by the Palestinian actors. This reflects the asymmetrical nature of violence within the conflict. Finally, for the fourth hypothesis test, the null hypothesis assumed no relationship between the age group and type of ammunition used. The study through F-test found a strong relationship with live ammunition more frequently used against the 21 to 30 age group. Explosives and missiles were also common across multiple age ranges, reflecting varied methods of violence. This can be seen in the charts as shown on screen. So to summarize the hypothesis testing, all null hypotheses were rejected, showing meaningful associations. Event location, age, citizenship, and type of ammunition are strongly interlinked. These results provide evidence of demographic and regional patterns that can inform humanitarian aid, conflict resolution, and policymaking. So in conclusion, this research highlights significant regional, demographic, and operational discrepancies within the conflict. The analysis shows Gaza as the most conflict-intensive region, identifies young adults as the most affected group, and demonstrate asymmetrical casualty patterns between populations. By using statistical evidence, this study contributes to a deeper data-driven understanding of the conflict, which can support humanitarian strategies and policy design. Importantly, it illustrates how statistical approaches can provide neutral insights into complex socio-political issues. Finally, the study builds upon existing academic and policy research as shown in the references. These works span historical, political, and quantitative analysis, providing the foundation for this research. Thank you everyone for your attention. We are open to questions now.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Do we have any questions?
No questions from me.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Moving on to our next presenter, I would like to call Ma'am Kalyani Ede to present a paper on the title Work-Life Balance Among Employee in IT Parks in Pune, a Research Study. Do we have you here with us, ma'am?
Yes, yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will present a research study on work-life balance among IT employees in Pune, focusing on how organizational, socio-culture, and gender dynamics shape the experiences of employees working in Pune's IT parks. Research focus. Key questions and objectives. This research aimed to explore multiple dimensions of work-life balance in the IT sector. The key objectives were to identify factors affecting work-life balance in Pune's IT workforce, analyze the impact of work-life balance on employee satisfaction and productivity, examine gender differences in balance experiences, assess the role of organizational policies, and propose culturally relevant strategies for improvement. Overall, the goal was to generate insights that are practical and locally applicable. Literature review. Key findings and gaps. Prior research reveals several important points. First, workload, time constraints, and role ambiguity remain central challenges. Bhatnagar and Sanda 2015. Second, flexible work strategies improve balance across industries. Manisha 2013. Third, large firms have successfully introduced flexible time and childcare support in the IRA Journal 2016. Despite these advances, there is still a research gap. India and especially Pune needs culturally specific interventions tailored to its unique socio-culture and IT context. Research methodology. This study follow a mixed methods approach to capture a holistic view of work-life balance. The target population included IT professionals working in Pune's IT parks. Using a stratified random sample of 500 participants, standardized surveys were distributed via Google Forms to capture quantitative data. This ensure proper demographic representation and reliable insights. Methodology. To complement surveys, qualitative data was also gathered through 20 in-depth interviews and two focus groups, quantitative data and analysis using descriptive statistics, correlation, regression, and ANOVA. Qualitative responses were thematically analyzed to extract recurring patterns and deeper insights. Finally, both sets of data were integrated to form a comprehensive understanding to challenges and solutions. Hypothesis and research question. This research was driven by critical questions such as how do gender difference shape work-life balance experiences? What is the impact of organizational policies? How strongly is work-life balance correlated with job satisfaction and productivity? What role do flexible work arrangements and technology play? This guided the study in uncovering casual and correlational relationship essential for policy recommendations. Key findings, gender, policies, and work life balance. The results revealed some interesting insights. There was no significant gender difference in overall balance, but men and women faced different types of challenges. Across the board, heavy workloads, time pressure, and role ambiguity were the main stressors. Organizational policies emerged as highly influential, supportive policies and flexible work options correlated with higher satisfaction and productivity. Leadership support and workplace culture were found to play a central role in shaping well-being. Challenges in Pune IT sector. The IT industry in Pune faces several hurdles, long working hours and strict project deadlines, stressful project cycles causing burnout, technology intrusions blurring work-home boundaries, socio-culture norms influencing gender roles. Smaller IT firms often lack formal flexibility policies. Together, these challenges make retention and moral and a significant concern. Strategies and organizational implication. To overcome these barriers, organizations can take actionable steps, provide flexible arrangements like remote work and flexi time, offer wellness programs including counseling and stress management, encourage supportive supervisory practices and open communication, improve workload management and role clarity to reduce ambiguity, build a culture that values balance, well-being, and retention. Technology and cultural responsiveness. Technology can also be a solutions, not a challenge. Smart scheduling tools and boundary setting apps can reduce work institutions into personal life. Culturally responsive policies are equally important. They must align with local socio-culture dynamics and gender norms. This balance ensures sustainable productivity while respecting employees' diversity and inclusivity. Enhancing work-life balance for Pune's IT professionals. In conclusion, work-life balance is crucial for Pune's IT sector, influencing satisfaction, retention, and productivity. Organizations must adopt flexible, culturally aware policies and build strong support system tailored to local needs. Future research should also explore technology-driven innovations and compare trends across India's growing IT hubs. This will ensure healthier, more sustainable workplace for the expanding industry. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Do we have any questions?
I just a comment. I really like the concept of the work-life balance. My advice will be just to apply it into the context, for example, corporate slavery and how it works in those contexts. So again, you have a really good direction, very relevant topic, but focus on the niche. Okay?
The research is limited to Pune cities.
Okay.
Results may differ in metros and other organizations.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on. Next, I would like to call again Sir Janwal Asaram Panduram to present his paper on the title Predicting Esophageal Cancer with Machine Learning, an Automated Approach.
So, thank you, sir.
Do you have it?
Yes.
Yes. You will present your screen, sir.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My topic is here predicting esophageal cancer with machine learning and automated approach. I am the presenter here on behalf of my team. Uh, so let's start with introduction. The critical challenges of this type of cancer, this is the one of the dangerous disease. We can say that which um, Due, uh, due to its silent progression and lack of early symptoms, it becomes somehow dangerous here. We need to take care about here to get the actually the late diagnosis and uh, symptomatic early phases. So we cannot find out or we cannot get the symptoms of this type of research. So it becomes very important to use such technologies which will detect this cancer in early stages, uh, also avoid the time and also avoid the human errors. Yeah. So the some of the existing works is done here, which has the certain limitations and problems. One of the research gap which I find here, that is, though the different models are used here, it becomes hard to use it practically in the clinical. Uh, so I work on this and also studied here some different articles here and find out the some methods they have used, and I try to improve the methods here which they have used here and get the better accuracy. So the methodology which I use here, that is the first I started with the data collection. I collected the different a lot of data here from different hospitals, especially from the my location, India. Near about 3,985 records I have collected here from the different, which includes the different features like demographic, clinical, and diagnostic features. So the data source, as I have collected, that is the medical records from multiple locations here and healthcare systems. The ethical consideration I have considered that patient privacy here. Uh, Also collected the data from different age groups and different that is the uh, some different articles or different things I have considered like age, gender. Uh, that is the thing, and the features I consider like demographic that includes age, gender, then family history related to clinical, blood pressure, lab, medical history. So all these things I have considered to collect the features of the patients. Then the data quality I have considered here that I handle the missing values. I split the data into 20%, 80% for training and 20% for testing. So this is the histograms plotting presenting distribution of the different features which I have collected from the different places. Uh, so I consider all these features engineering, and this heat map shows the correlation among the these continuous features, and I find out that the some features shows the strong correlation with the uh, there's a that causes for the disease. Then I use the second method here, that is data cleaning, which used to clean the data. So I deleted more than 50% data, missing data to ensure the data integrity. Then in pre-processing, I normalize the data and I split the data into 80-20%. So I must use here machine learning model, that is the logistic regression and decision tree. So the logistic regression, that is specialized for binary classification, and the decision tree that is used for splitting uh, to create the interpretable decision pathways. And it has the some has the limitations. Logistic regression has some limitations. Same way, decision tree has some advantage as well as limitations. So I compare these uh, two models, and I find out the result here. That is, logistic regression gives overall accuracy of 65%, 60 near about 65%, which is the moderate performance. But some of the we can say that it is not efficient to distinguish some classes, more complex classes. It also the limitations that capturing the non-linear medical data. So it has, I find some disadvantages here. But as compared with the decision tree, it gives me the very good result near about 99.75% accuracy is given here, and only two misclassifications I found here. So I found that it is a very good technique or good model to find out the or to predict the cancer. So this is the overall the analysis which I have performed here. That is, the decision tree performs the accuracy that is near about 99.75. The logistic regression gives 64 point, and the performance gap is here near about 34.88. And only the decision tree gets the errors. There is only two errors I got here. So I find out here that decision tree model performs very good for the exception handling. So the impact of this research, it will be used to early detection of esophageal cancers. It will also increase the workflow workflow time, or it will reduce the time required to detect or predict the disease, and also used to here implementation in the clinical. Uh, so that is the thing, and I concluded here. We can use here uh, decision tree for the predictive as a predictive model, which gives very good accuracy. And further research only needs to do here. We can say that it needs to be implemented in actual workplace or actually in clinical places, so that we can find out its impact, actual impact. So that's it about me from my side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your presentation. Do you have any question?
No questions from me.
Okay. This brings us to the end of the session. I sincerely thank our authors for their excellent presentation and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. We, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for your support during this fourth version and all the previous three versions of the conference. We'll be happy to have you in the fifth version in 2026. All the presenters will be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. The publication will be live within 7 to 8 months, so kindly cooperate with the team of ISBM 2025. I also thank the session chair, Dr. Iosef Gavilia, for chairing this session. Here's a token of appreciation to the chair on behalf of Team ISBM 2025 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners.
Thank you so much, and looking forward to work with you all in the future.
Thank you, sir. Just before we end the session, I kindly request you all to switch on the camera for a quick snapshot of the virtual conference. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining today.